Whew. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. How are you guys doing? How are you guys doing? Yeah. Good evening, guys. How are we doing? How are we doing? How is everyone doing? Please, if you're joining us, let's know your name and where you are joining us from. Tonight is really going to be all shades of amazing. Okay. So let's just wait for a few more people to join us this evening. So there's a lot for us to discuss tonight. There's a whole lot I'm looking forward to teaching everyone this evening. And I personally believe that everyone coming here, everyone coming here tonight, there's a lot of value for you to live here with. Okay, so that's my personal belief, and it's going to be amazing. So please let's just wait for a few more people to join in. Once you join us, let's know your name and where you're joining us from. Your name and where you're joining us from. Emmanuel Oladijo, I can see you. Good evening, Mr. Owen Sonny. Good to see you, sir. Good to see you. Please let's know your name and where you're joining us from. Let's know your name and where you are joining us from. Yeah, there's a lot to discuss tonight, man. There's a whole lot. I can't wait to start, unleashing amazing stuff. So if you know anybody that should be here that is yet to be here, let them know that we are live. Let them know that we are live. We started about 10 minutes late because I was trying to get some things done before I go on live, so there'll be no distractions. Okay, so let's just wait a few more people to join. We have currently 11 people. Maybe when we're about 20, hopefully, they will get started in the next 5 minutes. In the next 5 minutes, we'll be kicking, straight into what we have. So tonight, I'll be teaching you guys, teaching you how to the steps it takes to become a real man. The question of manhood is one that is very, very pertinent, especially in times where we are living in currently, where um, there's a lot of changes happening fast. Things are happening very fast. The rapid changes that is happening in society requires it is actually dangerous right now growing up without a man in the life of either a child, whether a boy child or a girl child. Okay, it's actually very, very dangerous right now, and it is also very, very dangerous to find yourself in the company of somebody who claims to be a man but is actually a boy. Okay, whether it is your boyfriend, whether it's your fiance, whether it's your even just your regular friend, is actually a danger right now. Okay, so some of the things I'll be teaching you are things, some of them I learned from experience, some of them I learned from monitoring, some of the father figures I have currently in my life, a lot of people that have actually helped me to grow. Somebody said, by the way, that background is grounding. Okay, so there's a lot coming your way tonight, trust me. So please share this link with as many people as possible, as many people that you know that should be here with us live. Let them know that we have actually started. Okay, so Emmanuel Ladijo from Ibadan, good to see you. Theophilos from Abuja, good to see you. So Clinton from Cameroon, good to see you. Enu Jeke Prosper from Delta, good to see you. Harrison from Port Harcourt, Gift from Abuja. Somebody saying, sir, you're radiating glory and plenty money. Ryan from Abuja, good to see you. Chinemem from Ekiti, good to see you. Joseph Victor, good to see you. Uswe from Makodi, good to see you. Nzubu Chris, Oracle, good to see you, Oracle. So tonight there are just a few things I want to mention. I'll mention some things briefly before I actually get started. At least that will get you, give you a heads up of what to come, what is coming your way tonight. Because there's a lot of things I noted down on my notepad I was going to share. and we are getting started in the next 2 minutes. I'll just go into that. I'm just waiting for a few more people to join so that they don't miss out on anything once you get started. Okay. Now, one of the many blessings I believe that God personally gave me in life was making it possible for me to go through medical campus. That was one of the many blessings that God gave me, because as a medical student, some of the things that you get to experience in the course of your training as a medical student, you get to see life somehow in with from a different light. Kind of, you get to see life from a different angle. I can remember when we were going for a particular hospital training. It was like an industrial training kind of, but it was in the hospital, and it was a psychiatric hospital, neuropsychiatric hospital in somewhere in Enugu. So during those days, I can remember my outlook on life began to shift a little bit, because I began to understand that not everybody on the streets is actually normal. And I can remember those days, any little, by the time we spent like 6 weeks in that particular hospital before we moved to another location. And I remember after those 6 weeks, it's as if my outlook on life totally shifted, like almost forever. Because every time I look at a person and look at the behavior of person, I'm trying to see the abnormal psychology in what they are doing, because that's basically what we are trying to learn in that particular hospital. So, and we one of our lecturers then used to tell us that everybody you see on the street is actually mad, but it depends on the degree of madness. You understand? So that way, I began to see life a little bit different. I found out that the totality of human beings, the totality of human behavior is usually a sum total of their experiences in life, the things they've experienced growing up in the past, and the influences that they have around them. Okay. When you say that this is how this particular person behaves, the person behaves like that because of two reasons. One, because of the things he has experienced, the upbringing he has had in life, and secondly, the influences he has had around him, both the past influences and the current ones. Okay, so those are the two major things that actually shape human behavior. And unfortunately, as a man, especially in this 21st century, men most times are not taught the fact that there are specific things, there are very very specific things that actually entails or signifies that you have actually transited and you have become what I call a real man. Okay, so a real man, in my own definition, is a man that has understood, number one, the demands of what it actually means to be a man. Okay, because we are currently living in times where a man can be defined as what you choose. You hear people saying that I identify as a man. You understand? Tell you I identify. I mean, what do you really mean by identify? That means anybody can, tomorrow I can say I identify as the president of Nigeria. And you don't have any rights in reality. If we accept that a woman can wake up one day and say that she identifies as a man, you have no right to say that if I decide to identify tomorrow as the president of Nigeria, that you can do anything about it. There's no limit to the extent to which that ideology can actually go. Okay, somebody woke up somewhere, I think somewhere in America, or and identified as a dog and decided to dress himself as a dog, went out of the street barking as a dog. Okay, it doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't make any sense. But of course, nobody would actually tell them some of these things. But however, what what really makes a man a real man is the fact that, number one, he has understood the demands of being a man, what it actually means of to be a man, and also the responsibilities that actually comes with being a man. So it's more than having a male organ. It is more than having a broad chest. It is more than having beards. It is more than having a deep voice. Okay, there are specific qualities that you need to possess for you to actually say that you have become a man. You have fulfilled the requirements of becoming a man. Okay. Okay. So it's amazing. A lot of things I'll be sharing with you tonight are things, probably some of them might be reminders, and some of them might be things that I personally believe that will shift and adjust your paradigm to begin to, first of all, walk toward, especially if you're a man, walk towards being a real man. And number two, if you are a woman, be able to identify who a real man is. Okay, because like I already mentioned already, it is very, very dangerous in this 21st century to grow to have either a father figure in your life, or a strong influence in your life who claims to be a man, but he's actually not playing the role of a man in your life. Okay, so I'll be going through 5 qualities that I personally believe that will help you a whole lot, that will help you to actually begin to take steps to become what a real man should be, and also to identify such men in your life. Okay, so are we good to go? Because I want to jump right into the teaching for tonight. Are we good to go? Can you people still hear me? It seems my network is becoming shaky here, but can everyone still hear me? Can you see me? Can you hear me? If you can see me, you can hear me, let me know. If you can see me and you can hear me, let me know. Let me know. Someone should type something. Let me know you people can hear me and you can see me, so I can dive right into the teaching. Okay. I can see someone say we are ready. Okay. I think my network is, it was shaking over here. Okay, good. Someone is saying loud and clear. Yeah, amazing. So these are 5 things to know a real man, and 5 things to help you to actually start your journey to becoming what a real and a mature man really is. Okay, now there's this story I heard sometime that somehow ingrained into my mind. The man of God was trying to preach about signs and symptoms. He was talking about, because he was like a marriage counselor, he was doing all those marriage counseling stuff. So he said that, as a child of God, as a sincere child of God, that God would never, emphasis on never, allow you to marry somebody, man or woman. That is, if you're a man to marry a woman, and if you're a woman to marry a man, who is not the will of God for you, without giving you signs. He was trying to say that if you're really a sincere child of God, and maybe Satan begins to throw one of his best daughters or his best sons to you, he was trying to say that God somehow would definitely show you a sign. And his theory was based on several years of counseling. So he told this particular story to actually buttress his point. I heard that story like almost 7 or 8 years ago, but I've never forgotten it, because every now and then it comes up to my mind, and I just use it to remind myself that no matter what is happening, God always showed me signs. Okay. Now, he told a story of one particular lady that came to him crying that the husband used to beat her, the husband used to maltreat her. This man, I'm telling you, this stupid man, okay, forgive the word stupid, but by the time I tell you the story, you will know that you will justify what I called him. Okay, so this man will beat this lady, beat her, tear her clothes and push her out of the house. And the man, according to the story, used to watch wrestling. You understand? He watches wrestling a lot. So he practically was using this lady who was supposed to be his wife to practice wrestling. So he will beat this woman to the point that he will beat her, carry her on her head, dump her on the ground, and tell her that I am a lion and my father is a lion. If you remember, if you've been around for a while, you should. There's this wrestler they used to call Hokogan. Some of you here should know Hokogan, right? So he would tell her that he will do. There's this thing that Hokogan used to do. If he wants to be, he would do something like this. He would do it to the woman and jump on top of her. You understand? And beat her, send her out of the house. On one particular occasion, as according to the story, he was actually leaving the house after beating the lady that morning, and beating the lady that morning. The lady has to run out of the house, quickly go, run towards the just adjacent to the house. There was this man, like this outside guys that used to sell stuff. They had to go there, run for refuge. The man had to give him like a small wrapper to cover her body. And this foolish man drove out of the house and saw the wife almost half naked and shouted, called her a prostitute in front of the whole street. Now, that story, there are two things to learn from that story. Number one is the fact that this man was doing what he saw his father do. Because, like I said, he tells the lady, I am a lion, and my father also is a lion. So he's doing what he has learned from what the father figures in his life. And he's exhibiting what he feels like should be described as manhood. Okay? Unfortunately, he was taught by the wrong people, and nobody was around to tell him that what he was doing was actually wrong. And he ended up marrying the wrong lady. Now, at the time of sharing this story with the pastor was now telling the lady that I don't believe that. I really don't believe that you can marry this kind of wicked human without God actually giving you a sign. He now asked the lady, tell me about your courtship. You understand? Tell me about your somebody saying he's identifying as a lion. So 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 he was trying to tell the pastor that when they were courting, actually, there was one thing he told the pastor many stories, but this was one that actually stood out. He told this pastor that there was one day that he went out with him. It was a very funny story, man, but you will learn a lot from it. So he went to visit a friend, like boyfriend, girlfriend, fiance thing. They went to go and visit another friend, and the friend served them food. And inside the food was four meats. Four meats. The man put four meats. And to every sane person, if you're a sane person, sanity should tell you that if there's four meat here, that means it's either two for my wife, and they serve the food together, right? They were supposed to eat together after all. I mean, they were fiance and fiancée, right? So so as they were eating, the young man put his hand, grabbed one of the meat, and straight to his mouth. So the lady didn't say anything. After all, there's three more meat, and they were just eating, discussing with the other guy, with the person they visited. And the guy, before they said Jack, the guy has grabbed the second meat. So the lady was like, okay, no problem, it's fine. And before we know what's happening, this guy has grabbed the third one. And so the lady inside her mind was wondering what's really happening here. You understand what's really happening? And guess what? Before we could say anything, this guy was putting his hand to collect the fourth meat. That was where the lady now, grabbed his hand. Was like, me, won't I eat meat? What do you mean? You understand? So it was quite a heated argument. At the end of the day, they had to, resolve and all of that. But that was a simple sign. If the lady was wise enough, that would have told her that this man is a very selfish man. Because somebody who has the mind to eat both his portion and your portion should tell you that this guy is very, very, very selfish. The selfishness level is something else. But love, because of love, this thing people call love, okay? Because of what people call love, she didn't see it as anything. She assumed that this is just one, bad habit or something like that. And that was how he ended up marrying the lion. Okay, and getting up, because at the end of the day, he ended up divorcing the man. Okay, the marriage had to break, right? So unfortunately, these are little signs that sometimes, if you are very keen to and very observant, you can easily see some of these things happening in the life of the male figures around your life, and you can easily tell that this particular person is either mature or not mature. Okay, so some of the signs I'll be showing you here, like I said, might be reminders, and some of them might just be eye openers. Okay, so let's start off with number one. How do you know a matured man. So let me go ahead. I want to share my screen so I can type. So I want to share my screen so that I can type some things and make notes in case some of you need to type on something. So number one, 5 signs of a matured man. Okay, 5 signs of a matured man, or 5 qualities. So these are 5 qualities of a matured man. This is what you would see in a man, and you can tell that this man is matured for me to call either my husband, or to make this person my friend, business partner, whatever close acquaintance you want to have with somebody, that kind of person. These are some things to see. So number one is sense, or let me say, sense of responsibility. Sense of responsibility. Now, this is not, sense of responsibility is something every, whether he's a man or not, this is something every human being who is growing and who is sensible enough should have. Responsibility is not a product of age. Just because I see people do this a lot. Once they're approaching 30, or once they hit 30, they feel like they should take life more serious, but unfortunately you're actually doing it wrongly. You become a man the day you begin to accept responsibility. Okay, the day you begin to accept responsibility is the day that you have in reality actually become a real man. And there are dimensions to that responsibility. There are 3 dimensions to that responsibility, I would which I would actually run through briefly. You can also write it down if you want to write something. Okay, now number one is responsibility to himself. This is the first tier. Okay, responsibility to self. Now, responsibility to self entails you taking responsibility of every outcome of your life as your fault. You see, men, I've seen male figures. Let me not use the word men, okay? Please, let me just make this decision before we continue. When I say male figure, I mean somebody who has a male genital organ. Okay, that's what I mean. So when I mean man, I mean a real man. Okay, so I need to say this also that you don't get confused. Okay, so I've seen a lot of male figures at age 40, at age 50, at age 30. When you ask them questions like, why is your life like this? What is happening? Why are things not going on for you? They still have that sense of, it is not my fault. It is my father. It is because what my father did. It is because of what my mother did. It is because of what my uncle did. Any man you see that transfers the responsibility of his success to another man is still a boy in the process. Now, it might be hurtful to hear, especially if you're a man here and you're that kind of person, but truth needs to be told. Maturity starts the day you start taking the outcomes of your life as your fault. If you fail, it is your fault. That day you make that responsibility that my life becomes my fault. What I become in this life becomes my fault. That is the day you have started taking steps to become a real man. Because a lot of people, whenever you shift responsibilities of success to what somebody else did for you or did to you in the past, you are automatically saying that tomorrow, if you eventually succeed in something else, that means it is actually somebody else's fault also that you actually succeeded. So that means you can never at any point in your life own any success for yourself if you can't own failure. If you can't own failure, a man that cannot accept that this thing happening, Namidwan, is my fault, that man is still a boy in the process. So responsibility to yourself, first of all, it is the paramount thing that begins to qualify you as a real man. Okay, that day you make the decision that anything happening to me, if if at the end of life I die poor, or if at the end of life I die unfulfilled, it is my fault. It is not the fault of my father. Despite what my father did to me, maybe my mother abused me, my uncle abused me, my teachers said something bad to me, something like that. Once you still have those kind of excuses in your life, once you have those kind of excuses till now, and you're 30, you are 35, you're 40, you still have those kind of ill will against somebody that you feel did something that is the reason for your failure, whether you are attributing it to even village people, even if the what you think is the reason for your failures or your woes in life are village people, you are still a boy. Okay, painful to hear, but this is just the absolute truth. Now, these are some things I was quite privileged. I'll call it a privilege. Okay, it is not something I brag with. I know a lot of people didn't have that kind of opportunity, but God, being gracious enough, was able to open some things to me, give me some level of understanding, even as a young man. Okay, when I became born again. I became born again at 18 years. Oh, and I didn't just get born again, become a casual Christian. I got born again in an environment where there was no option than to grow. So I had to read books, I had to follow people, and all of that. I can remember the day vividly. I went to a church. I sat in front of the church and I made a vow to myself that from today, whatever happens in my life, whatever becomes the outcome of my life, is my fault. That day was the day I began to, because I had a lot of ill will against, some uncles. Of course, we all have family members that you don't feel like you want to hear their name. Some of them might have betrayed your father, betrayed your mother. Some of them, you were believing that they will give you some help, but did not help you, because my dad died when I was 15 years. Okay, so we had some expectations, from some uncles. Okay, but unfortunately, even me personally, I had some expectations also, even from my brothers. Okay, I had some expectations, but I felt like that expectation was not being met, because what I wanted, because as a teenager, you need guidance. As a teenager, you're looking for somebody to hold you by the hand and show you what it actually means to be a man. You understand? Because my dad was a wealthy man. Okay, he died a wealthy man. Okay, and I also wanted to be wealthy, but I needed somebody to teach me what he knows. Okay, but I was in all through when I was, getting to stage of puberty and all of that. He was already becoming very sickly. He was traveling abroad every now and then, so I didn't have much face time, discussion time with him to ask questions that a real man is supposed to, hold my hand and teach me. Okay, so at that point, when I began to gain some understanding, I began to understand that I was really at loss. I was already at loss, because the person that was supposed to guide me to learn some things was no longer around. So I had a lot of disappointments, even with some of my relatives that I expected should at least teach me. I didn't, not even if you're not giving me money, teach me to fish. You understand? My dad was a good fisherman and he died without teaching me how to fish. So I was expecting that somebody else would hold my hand and actually teach me how to fish. But unfortunately, that was not the case. So I can remember that day I went to the church and I made a promise and I made a vow to myself that the responsibility of my life would not be on anybody. If I fail in life, it is my fault. If I make it in life, it is my fault. I took the bulls by the horns and I swore to myself that nothing will make me ascribe any attribute of my success to a mortal man. Okay, so when you see a man who still at the back of his mind feels like the reason why he's not doing well is somebody somewhere, something somewhere that happened to him, that's still a boy in the process. Okay, so responsibility to self, that is one. Now, number two is responsibility to family. Responsibility to family. When you meet a man who doesn't feel, when you meet people that tell you things like my family, everybody to himself, my family, they can sort themselves out. He doesn't care how his siblings, his brothers, everybody is doing. That's an immature man right there. Okay, That's an immature male figure. Anytime you see a man who doesn't sustain that consciousness that I have a responsibility to my family. When you hear people say, I owe nobody anything, I owe nobody anything. Yes, that's true to an extent, but your family, you owe them for a lifetime because you are bounded by blood. Okay, so anytime you see a man who has totally cut off from his family, maybe the person is coming maybe to ask you out to be his fiance for marriage or whatever the person is asking for, and he has zero regard for family. He doesn't care about his mom, his dad, and all of that. That's an immature man in the process. Sorry guys, they took the live body on the vata in like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, we're back. So we're back, guys. That's an immature man right there. Any man that doesn't have that responsibility and doesn't think about what becomes of his family because of him, okay, is an immature man. Okay, now we are rushing because I really want to add this in before 9 p.m. Okay, so we would have to be rushing some of these things. Now, number 3 is responsibility to society. Ability to society. Okay, now responsibility to society. Now, unfortunately, there is something I see happening, especially among this current generation, this Gen Z. Okay, there is this utter disregard for societal values. They have utter disregard for societal values. What we have believed for many years as a society, what has kept nations together, they have utter disregard of them. When you meet a man who doesn't believe in the corporate on corporate values, okay, a man who doesn't believe in things that has held countries, things that have held nations together. He believes that he has the ultimate opinion. He believes that there is nothing you say that can give him any that can make him see reasons with you why something that has sustained communal living for a very long while should actually take place. Those kind of men that have those disregard for societal values, generally very, very mature men. Okay, now one of the things that are signs that you have begun to understand humanity in quote, is your regard for for what people call the religion of humanity. Now, I'm not an atheist. I'm not any of those things. I'm a Christian, okay? But I've heard people make statements like humanity is the greatest religion. And sometimes not stepping out anyway, but viewing it from a light of what a true Christian really means, what it actually means to be a real Christian, okay? You begin to see that there is some atom of sense in what they are saying. There's some atom of sense in the things that in that quote, humanity is the greatest religion. You begin to see that at the height of your Christianity, at the height of being a godly person or a righteous person, you you become relevant to the society. Okay, the more Christian you become, the more relevant you actually becoming to the society. The more relevant you are becoming to the people around you. Okay, the reason why the death of Jesus Christ was that of an important event, to the extent that that death is used to mark time to date. Okay, you see people saying 2000 BC, 2000, BC, meaning before Christ. They are marking time with the death of a human. That's how important he was in the society. You understand? So at the height of your Christian life, you will notice that you are becoming more and more relevant to the society, either relevant in government, relevant in media, relevant in maybe in the church, relevant in the family, relevant in society, finance, whatever. But at the height of your Christianity, you find out that you are becoming more and more humanly important. You understand? So when you see somebody, when you see a man who doesn't believe some of these very simple things, doesn't believe that, nobody, I mean, life can go on, and he doesn't have anything to contribute, he doesn't care what happens to the country, he feels like the country is not his own. I used to, if not for the situation of the country before really, I used to have, I used to feel very pained when I see people who don't see the progress of the country as their personal responsibility. Before, it used to really pain me a lot. Any small thing, then when I was in school, any small thing, I talk with my um, fellow colleagues back then in school. You hear them saying, I'm traveling out, I'm traveling out, I'm traveling out. And I always ask question like, who would change Nigeria? If all of you are leaving, who would change Nigeria? Like, who would play the role? You understand? But now, like I said, this was my thinking. Unfortunately, some things have changed now. Unfortunately, security issues right now, to an extent, warrants that some people can actually leave. Okay, so I don't sustain that notion currently that strongly. Okay, although it's still somewhere at the back of my mind, because I feel like you should be concerned. The state of the nation should be a concern to you too. You understand? So when you meet somebody who doesn't have, he doesn't care, Nigeria is going into depression. We are going into, we are launching deeply into suffering. People are finding it hard to even, I mean, eat 3 square meal. Okay, it doesn't concern him. All he cares is by him, or is just for himself. That's a very, very mature man right there. Okay, where you see somebody who is actively contributing to damaging the society. Okay, he doesn't care about the values, the current values. Sometimes when maybe if I'm maybe scrolling TikTok with my wife and we see some things, I mean, it, just a lot of things are just happening right now, really painful. But a real man, okay, sees the responsibility of societal development as part of his responsibility. Okay, he sees that the nation is working, I should be playing my part, that I also have a part to play. It is not the sole responsibility of the government, it is not the sole responsibility of foreign nations to help develop the nation. Okay, it is also my responsibility. So those are the three tires for this particular sign of a matured man: sense of responsibility, his heightened sense of responsibility. Now, number two sign of a mature man, what you call, sorry, the word matured is actually not correct. It's actually a mature man, not matured. Okay, it's actually mature man. Okay, so is strong sense of purpose. Now, I would actually love to take more time here, because this is where a lot of people don't pay a lot of attention. Every real man has a strong sense of purpose. Now, purpose is different from responsibility. Okay, when I mean purpose, is the man knows three things. Okay, who he is. You understand who he is? That's number one. The man understands who he is. Okay, who he is. The man understands what he wants, and he also understands in life how he wants to, I wanted to say, I wrote it here as how he wants to die. Okay, but just so it doesn't sound rough, okay, let me put it as how he wants to fulfill his purpose. Now, permit me to just take out some time, maybe about 10 minutes, to explain three of these things distinctively, because especially if you're a lady, please pay attention to the things I'm saying now. Especially if you're a lady, please, I beg you, if you're a lady, please listen to what I'm about to say now. Every responsible man you meet out there must have a strong sense of purpose. We have about 45 people joining us now. Currently, that's amazing. Good to know. Um, every man out there, every responsible man out there has a strong sense of purpose. Number one being that he knows who he is. Now, unfortunately, there are a lot of male figures out there who are even yet to figure themselves out. They don't know who they are. Who they are, in quotes, is not talking about, I know who I am, I know who God says I, that's not what I'm saying. Okay, who they are means the entirety of the sole reason why they are actually on this earth. When you see a man who still somewhere at the back of his mind believes that uh, I am a product of circumstance. I'm a product of what do they call it? Theories like Big Bang theory, theories like evolution. That man just appeared, and by the time I die, I just die like that. Man come, man die. No, he doesn't have that consciousness of the fact that that I see myself on the surface of this earth means that there is something higher and bigger than myself that I must, at the end of the day, satisfy. Okay? A man who has not seen beyond just the physical attributes of himself, the fact that he has a male organ, the fact that he has beard, he doesn't see beyond those things. Is still a baby in progress. He's not yet to be. He's yet to become a matured man. Okay, a man who hasn't developed a strong drive, a drive that is stronger than I want to make money, a drive that is stronger than I want to be noted. I want to be a notable person in the community. Or a drive of I want to, I want to shame my enemies. I want to shame my enemies. My enemies must see. You understand? A man who has not gone beyond all those things to begin to see that beyond himself there is a bigger personality who sent him on a purpose on this earth. He has not developed that sense of urgency, of purpose. He's a maturing man. He has not come to full understanding. Okay. One of the things that will help you a lot, when I see people, I have almost on a weekly basis. This is me being sincere. I'm not bragging about it. Um, Almost on a weekly basis, I have people that come to my DM, that come to my DM to ask for mentorship. Mentor me, teach me. I want to be like you, I want to be like you, I want to follow you, all those kind of things. Okay. Even this morning, I had like two this morning. Okay. And sometimes my first reaction to those kind of requests is with a question. I react with a question. My question is usually, have you discovered purpose? Because a man that has not discovered purpose he can't invent a drive that is bigger than mundane things. A man that is yet to discover his purpose in life is yet to discover a drive that is bigger than having a big car, having a big house, living in a small owning a small car. Because the average human being out there just wants, at the end of the day, just wants to marry, settle down, have 4 children, have a house in Lagos, have one in Abuja, drive a good car, and at the end of the day he dies. Okay. When you meet a man who is still thinking like that, who hasn't thought of posterity, who doesn't think of what is my contribution, what will I leave on this earth, that such that when I leave, the people on earth will still make reference to what I have done, and by the time I transit to the other side of the world, I also receive recognition. You understand? So, unfortunately, most men are superficial, very, very very superficial in their thoughts. You can hear it in their language. You can hear it the way they talk. You can hear it in the assumptions that they make. You can hear it in the way they relate to people. You can hear it in their conversations. You will look at the person and you can tell for a certainty that this person doesn't have any internal drive. Everything he's looking out for is all superficial, nothing deep, just all superficial needs, things that are just revolving around him and himself. I want a car, I want a good wife, I want a good, everything is just I want. Those are the kind of talks you hear from men who are yet to understand drive. You understand? One of the things, when I had the first date with my wife, that's the first time we went for an outing, like an official outing, because what I call our first date is like an exercise. I called her one, like a few days after we met, to that let's go for an exercise. That was like our first date. You understand? So we just went exercise, blah 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 blah. But the day we went for what I would call an official date, we sat down, went to eat. You understand? My first question when we got talking was, have you discovered purpose? Because those are things that are important to me. The drive for a car can die at any time. Have you not seen people who were so full of life, energetic, outgoing? All of a sudden, one simple event happened. Maybe something happened, they lost their ear, they lost their hearing, and all the drive, everything, all the boisterousness, all the drive, everything, all the activity they were carrying on in life, everything just suddenly begins to die down just because a man lost his hearing. Now, of course, it's terrible to lose your sense of hearing. It's very terrible, really terrible, of course. Or maybe you lose your eyes, or maybe you lose your leg, or lose one of your limbs. But those things are still superficial. Okay, a man who has a strong sense of purpose doesn't see himself limited by what is happening in him or around him. You understand? It is just more than physical things for him. He knows that it's something beyond the superficial mundane living, and he talks it, he believes it, and that is the way he actually relates. You understand? But a man who is very mature doesn't think, I mean, he doesn't even think that way. He doesn't think that way. Now, number two on that purpose is a man that knows what he wants. Sometimes when I counsel ladies, and maybe they have, because every now and then people come to my DM with questions like, I have this particular guy who is, we are courting, he says he wants to marry me, but I can't, you see them say something like, I don't really know if he's serious about it. You see them saying something like, he says he wants to marry, but with what I'm seeing, it doesn't look like he really wants to marry. Okay, very, very simple. A matured man knows exactly to such a precise level what he wants out of life. It is not only ladies, because of course ladies to a degree have this kind of qualities. Okay, when a reasonable lady meets you, she already knows whether she likes you or not. She already can tell inside of her mind. She can already tell whether she likes you or not. She can tell whether she's wasting your time or whether she's actually serious with you. Of course, she will not tell you, but inside her mind, she already knows. She already knows that this one, let me just give him 2 months to play all his cards. And by the time he plays all his cards, I mean, I move on with my life. Okay. Unfortunately, some ladies are like that. Okay. But a real man knows to a very, very, very precise degree what he wants. Number one, from a woman. Number two, from his business. That's from what he's doing to make money. Okay. And number three, what he actually wants for himself. Okay. When you see a man and maybe he wants to ask you out on a date or something, and you ask him questions like, where do you see yourself? And he doesn't have, if the answer must not be precise, but you see him react in a way that questions why you're asking him that kind of question. That's a negative sign. That's a red flag. A man that does not know what he wants, he has not decided for himself. A man that's not decided what he wants to do does not have anything reasonable for you to help him with if you come into his life. Women are supposed to be helpmates. That's what the Bible calls a woman, helpmate. So when you see a man who is not doing anything, the question is, what will you now be doing in his life when you join him as his wife? What will you be doing? You understand? Now, helpmeet does not mean helping him in his business or helping him in his career or all those kind of things a lot of people think. It simply means helping him become the best version of what God wants him to be. And the truth is, if you meet the person that God has really destined for you to actually be your wife or your spouse, you find out that in helping them fulfill your destiny, you're also fulfilling your own destiny. Somehow, your purpose will be tied to them, kind of. Okay, what they are doing, if you assist them in doing it, would be a fulfillment of what you are supposed to do as a woman. So when you meet a man who has zero knowledge about what he wants in life, he's yet to discover what he wants in life, that's a red flag. he would he would not know how to manage you as a woman. These are very deep things. A man who has not understood what he wants in life will not know what to do with a woman. Sincerely, he will either abuse you, I mean, or maybe probably all he'd be doing just probably sleeping with you if you're a loose woman, because he doesn't really know how to manage the kind of energy that you're supposed to bring into the relationship as a wife. You understand? Because life let me not go deep into this stuff, of course. I wanted to talk something about energies now. I wanted to talk some things about energies, but those it will take us far. It will take us far. It will take us far, guys. Are you guys following? If you're following, if you're learning anything, please let me know on the chat that you're learning. Let me know on the chat. Type something on the chat. Let me know you guys are learning something. So let me just keep running through. God, time is just running. I'm still at number 2 quality. We are yet to even go far, and I've not even talked about fatherhood. A lot. So please, if you're learning anything, let me know on the chat that you're learning something, man. Let me know you guys are learning something. Number 3 on that purpose is a matured man should know how he wants to fulfill purpose. Emphasis on how. When you meet a man who, number one, has not understood his tools for fulfilling, when I mean tools for fulfilling purpose, I mean things like his passions, his skills, his talents, his giftings. When you see a man who has not been thoroughly educated on the skills required for him to fulfill his destiny, that's the kind of man to avoid with your 2 legs. I'm telling you, because, for instance, I have always known, this is when I see people say things like, all these church people, they say, maybe they come around me, they say, this one is kingdom financier, kingdom financier. I just laugh inside of my mind, because that is far away from what God actually called me to do. That's far away. When I was saying kingdom change, all those kind of things, like I'm not any kingdom financier, I'm not any of those things. Okay. The major tool that God gave me and told me that he would actually use for me to actually impact my word is actually my words. Okay, my words, whether in writing or whether in speaking, those are actually my 2 major tools. Is actually, most people say, okay, he's forex, he's a forex, he knows how to trade forex, all these kind of things. Far away from it. My major tool of fulfilling destiny is my gifting that God gave me, which is communication. That's my first and major. What you say, what is your skill? What is your greatest skill in life? Mine is communication. Simple and short. I am gifted in communicating my thoughts. Okay, I can communicate my thoughts in such a way that is that will make you, that will serve any purpose I want it to serve, either to teach you, instruct you, or whatever. Okay, whether in words or in writing, that's actually my own major gifting. Okay, so when you see a man who is yet to find out what is his own tool for changing the world, what is his own tool of fulfilling purpose, he doesn't know his giftings, he doesn't know his talents, he doesn't know what has been inbuilt to him by default from eternity. He's yet to discover how to fulfill purpose. That man would not know how to manage you as a woman. Paul said, when Paul was trying to give a reason why he didn't have a wife, he said, have I not power to lead about a sister? You understand? He was trying to say that it requires some level of power to lead a woman. It requires a level of power. And when I mean power, I don't mean energy. I don't mean gra. You understand? I don't mean mature. I don't mean beards. When I mean power, I mean the tools required for you to fulfill purpose. Because when a woman comes into your life, in reality, she might think that she's submitting to you as a woman, as a man, okay? But truly, she's actually not submitting to you in reality. She's submitting to the giftings of God inside of you. She's submitting to the callings of God, the tools and equipment, spiritual equipments that you have and given to you from eternity to actually fulfill purpose. You understand? So it is more than just knowing, okay, this is a man I love, this is a man after my heart. You see ladies do this kind of, I love him so much, I love him, he's this one, he's this one, he's this one. You're loving someone who, in fact, a man who has not understood the nitty-gritties of purpose cannot even love. If he loves, he will probably love the wrong people, deep things, but these are facts. A man who has not understood purpose cannot even love you correctly, because boy, these things are they are welling up in my spirit now, and I feel like busting now. Love is two words. Okay, love, the summary of what you call love, I love is two things: commitment and sacrifice. Where there is no commitment, there's no love. Where there's no sacrifice, there's no love. You can't say you love somebody and you're not willing to sacrifice. In fact, when somebody says I love you, it simply means two things: I am committed to you and I am ready to make sacrifices for you. Those are two things. Okay. A man who has not understood purpose doesn't know what is not worth sacrificing yet. So he can love the wrong person, thinking he loves the person, but not knowing well that he's loving the wrong person. When I was about to marry my wife, these are conversations we had many times. I sat her down, I told her, I still tell her even till today, that before I met you, I met Jesus. Before two of us met, I've met Jesus Christ. And I know my purpose. I know what God has called me to do. I know what God wants me to do in this life. You understand? So this marriage, or this, because then we are like boyfriend, girlfriend. You understand? This relationship we are currently, I can't sacrifice this purpose for this relationship. There is nothing worth sacrificing for this, the purpose of God, the consciousness of that purpose I have inside of my heart. There is nothing in this life worth sacrificing it for. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So I made her understand that I won't change. I won't pretend that I don't know what God wants me to do just because I love you. So if you're willing to go on this journey with me, if you're willing to, for us to, end this thing in marriage, you must be willing to submit to this purpose of God inside of my heart. It can't change because of you. Because before then, a lot of, they had plans for her. You understand? Plans, to take her abroad and all of that after school. So I told her that, as far as I'm concerned, with what God has told me so far, with the sense of purpose I have inside of me, as of now that we are speaking, okay, I don't have any plans of living abroad. I don't have any plans of living outside the country. God did not tell me such. He has not told me such. And it will not change because you and your family want you to go outside the country to further your studies. So, if you're willing to go on this journey with me, I can't sacrifice this one. That means it is you that will sacrifice to stay in this relationship with me and stay wherever God wants me to be, because that is the most important thing to me. So, a man who does not have that kind of strong sense of purpose might be loving the wrong person. You're loving the person that cannot sacrifice for you to actually fulfill that purpose, cannot sacrifice, cannot even be your helpmate, because the things the person will currently be helping you with are not the right things. I don't know whether these things are deeper than. Can you guys really understand? Because I feel like I've moved to another level of communication, and I feel like some people are like, "Hey, what's he saying now? What's he saying now? Please, are you guys following? If you're following, please let me know you're following, please." I feel like I've shifted now. My communication has shifted a bit, and I feel like some people might not be learning at this point now. There are levels of energy, okay? And if you know anything about physics, okay, energy shift, energy shift. Okay, so sometimes when energy shifts like that, some people might drop off. They might be listening, no, but they're not getting what you're saying. But thank God, you guys are saying you understand, so I believe you. If you say you understand, you understand. Okay, so let's go ahead. Number three qualities of a man. Number three qualities of a man. What makes a real man a man? Okay. Number three, I'll have to rush now. I have like 20 minutes, so I'll definitely have to rush. I'll definitely have to rush. So number three is fatherhood. This one is deep now. This one we're about to get deep now. Fatherhood is not the quality, is not a product of having a son. Some people think that you become a father when you have a son or when you have a child. Sorry, guys, let me take small one. Now, fatherhood, you did not show the way you went even deeper, very focused. Okay, good. Okay, good. So, fatherhood is a state of awareness. That's what fatherhood is. Fatherhood is not about having a child or not having a child. It's a state of awareness. Awareness of five things. Awareness of five things. Okay. Awareness of five things. Number one, the ability to shepherd. Number two, the ability to protect. Sorry, I don't have to be typing all this. Or okay, let me just do it this way. I think I know what to make it easier. I want to so that I can just copy and be pasting. The ability to protect, the ability to provide. I will explain all these things shortly. The ability to direct. The ability to teach. Now, these five things is what it actually means to be a father. A father is not somebody that has a son. There are people that have children that are not fathers. Yeah, that's a very strong statement, but let me say it again. There are people that have children that are not fathers. Sister Bree, I see you. Sister Bree, good to see you, Sister Bree. Yeah, so there are people that have children that are not really fathers. Okay, they lack these five qualities. They lack the ability to shepherd, they lack the ability to protect, they have the ability to provide, they lack the ability to direct, they lack the ability to teach. Unfortunately, these kind of people are humans that ladies are dating. These are people's love of my life. Humans that cannot shepherd, they can't protect, they can't provide, they can't direct, they can't teach you anything. Very mature men. Now, the truth is this. Like I said, fatherhood is a state of awareness. It's not your whether you have children or not. If you're a father, is a state of awareness. Okay, it transcends beyond your immediate environment. Let's say you are an employee, or you are even maybe you have a job, you have let's say you have a work, you employ people. Okay, a mature man sees beyond the fact that this person is just a worker. And let's say my company, he sees beyond that this person is an acquaintance, an employee, just a colleague at work. He is also thinking in his mind, how do I provide covering for this person? How do I protect them? How do I do things that protect them? How do I do things that provide provide for them? How do I do things to direct them? How do I do things to teach them? Now, for the ladies, when you see a man that cannot do these 5 things for you or lacks in these 5 areas, is a very red flag. When you see a man that doesn't see you as his responsibility to shepherd, when now this is beyond human, because I know some men are very wicked, some men are very crafty. They can pretend to be all these things, but deep down it's not really true. Okay, when you see I can remember back then when I was still cutting my wife. Okay, I can remember there have been days, there are like many occasions like that where uh this one is like off story, but there are some days where maybe I come to see her in school, then she follows me back to their house, back to their family house. Then by the time I'm about going off, maybe going back to my house, because where I was staying at the time was just along the same road to her school then, because this was in Benue State. So would have to see ourselves off like 2 times. You understand? If I drop, okay, I'm not going yet. I still want to spend time with you, like that, like that. We'll have to go back, like that, like that. Now, a man who is um, a real man, beyond just the gesture of showing you that he wants to spend time with you, also sees himself responsible for you, responsible for the outcomes of your life. He wants to know that you are doing well, courtesy of him. Not like he wants to own you, something like that, because that's a red flag too, okay? But he wants to see the inputs that he's making in your life visible in your results, whether as a student, whether as a workmate, an employee. It's beyond superficial for them. It is beyond just we're achieving the same, we're trying to achieve the same goal, we're trying to make more money for the company, we're trying to hit our targets and all of that. Okay, they want to also play a part in your success. That's what a father means. Okay, a father wants to shepherd, he wants to protect, he wants to provide, he wants to direct, he wants to teach. It's internal, it's automatic, it is spontaneous, it's unconscious. Okay, one of the things that so then sorry, I keep using my wife as an example. um of course, it's obvious why I'm using her as an example, of course, right? So one of the things that I used to tell my friends then that I personally loved about her when we became friends was the fact that she was very teachable. Because me, I wanted somebody that I can teach. I want somebody that can listen to me and take corrections from the things I say. You understand? I wanted somebody that I can easily tell, okay, this is what you're doing wrong. You're not getting it right here. Do like this, do like this, do like this, and they can listen to me. You understand? So a mature man loves to teach. He wants to teach you. He wants to guide you. Okay, beyond guiding a woman, whether you're his colleague in the office, whether you are his employee, whether you are even his boss in the office, he wants to do something to make your life a bit more better. Okay, that's what a father is. That's what a father actually is. Okay. Somebody say, oh, okay. All right. Sorry, I was just reading the comment. So that's it for fatherhood. Let's just jump. We have like 10 minutes to go, and I don't want to make part two out of this. So we really have to rush. Sorry, guys, I have to rush, but I really need to finish this. I need to finish this. Okay. And we have like 10 minutes to go. Number four thing to know a matured man is his emotional intelligence. Intelligence. Emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence has a few things under it. Number one, the ability to love. The ability to be loved, the ability to show love. Okay, and the ability to communicate love. Now, the truth is this: emotional intelligence is something every real man should have. Emotional intelligence is not just knowing how to relate, these are not like soft skills, okay? Because some people assume that emotional intelligence is like soft skills. You know what I mean by soft skills? Ability to work as a team, ability to, be cooperative and all of that. That's not what I mean, okay? Emotional intelligence goes beyond just understanding how to work hand in hand with somebody. It also encompasses empathy, sympathy, and full understanding of a personality that is not yourself. There are some men out there that only know themselves. They have zero knowledge about communication. Communication is the ability to communicate your thoughts verbally or non-verbally to another person. There are some men that they can't look at a woman or look at the person that they are dating and easily discern that this is something that this person wants until they talk about it, until those women talk about it. Now, this was something I personally at some point struggled with too. So I understand it when men make that mistake. Okay, there are a lot of men out there who have this uh, 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 who don't know what it means to be a woman too. So they relate with women as if they are their fellow men. Now, this is something, like I said, I also had problem relating with this because I've been a man all my life. You understand? I've never been a woman, right? So it took me time to understand that women are not the same. They don't think the way we think. They don't reason the way we reason. You understand? When I Once again, when I was cutting my wife, we had a lot some friction as regards, why are you calling, why are you not calling? You understand? Because me, as at the time, I was already doing my internship program. I had some money in my pocket, and at some point I was really busy because I had like a full time, because this was internship. So I had to go to work by 7, come back around 3, 4. Then I have to focus, learn, read books, try to, trade forex and all of that. So in a full day, I can think of her, yes, but I won't have the time to call because inside of my mind, she should understand that I am busy, kind of. You understand that I'm quite busy at this time. So we can talk at night. So it was a very serious, serious problem because maybe at the end, towards that kind 7, 8, at 8 o'clock, she will now call. She'll now be like, so if I don't call you, you will not call me. And I used to take offense with those kind of questions because inside of my mind, are you not aware that I'm busy? You understand? If you that did not call me, I'm not angry with you. We did not call ourselves. You did not call me, and I did not call you. And me, I'm not offended. So why are you offended? You understand? But this was my emotional, because at the time, like I said, I was emotionally unintelligent too. Okay, just like a few of you here too. Okay, so I couldn't understand why you're angry that I did not call, because you two did not call me. I'm not taking offense. So, but I began to understand that the way a woman thinks is a bit more different from the way we think. As far as she's concerned, if you're not calling, that means there's no love. But inside of my mind, you should not call me because if you love me, you allow me to walk. So there's a lot of emotional intelligence there. Okay, it took me time to understand that. Okay, I can remember then, once it's getting towards 2 o'clock, 3 p.m., 4 p.m., I'll now be under tension. Hey, let her not first and call me, or let her not be the first to call me now before I enter inside problem. You understand? So I had to begin to adapt. Okay, adapt to the fact that the way I feel loved is not the same way she actually feels loved. Okay, for her, love is calling. As far as you're not calling me, you don't love me. But for me, if you love me, allow me to walk. So I had to begin to learn that emotional intelligence. See her here, she's laughing. This is the culprit right there. She's laughing. But I had to really adjust. I had to adjust, and we both had to adjust. Okay, I began to learn what it means to actually love intelligently. Okay, how to understand love, how to communicate my love. Okay, most men don't know how to do this, and they end up even hurting women that they love. They really love the lady. You will see that they really love the lady. Okay, if you interact with them, they'll tell you now, no, this girl, I really love this girl. But to communicate the love is now the problem. You understand? A lot of men have this kind. So if you're a woman here and you're dating a man who is not emotionally intelligent, you can get hurt. And the man doesn't know he's hurting you, but you're actually being very hurt. Now, this can actually go both ways, okay? Because one time, I know some of you here in Caris have made me share this story every now and then. Let me not go into that story, don't worry. But I've been in a relationship too where I knew I was loved, but I wasn't feeling it. Okay, the love was there, but I just couldn't see it. It felt like I wasn't, okay, because my love language wasn't being spoken. Okay, let's not go into that matter now. Okay, but emotional intelligence, very, 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 very important. Okay, very, very important. As a man, you need to be emotionally intelligent, very emotionally intelligent. The things that make you tick are not the same thing. It goes beyond, you and your woman. Okay, even in your office, you need to know the best time to speak about certain things. Okay, it is not every time. Maybe you're dating a lady who, let's say, is a student. Okay, at the end of every day, you're calling her, stressing her life, asking her, okay, where did you go? What did you eat? All those kind of things. Some days you know that this person is tired. She is tired and she needs to sleep. So when you make this kind of calls, make it brief. Okay, thank you. Good to hear from you. Good night. Allow the lady to sleep. She has tests tomorrow, she has exams. So if some men that are not emotionally intelligent like that, they want you, everything is about them. Everything is just about them. They want you now. They want you to satisfy their own, cravings now, not thought of what becomes of you. You understand? So a man that is emotionally unintelligent is a red flag. Red flag, guys. Red flag. Finally, because I have to jump. There's a lot to talk here, but we just have to jump this one. If you're already getting value, let me know that you are getting value. Let me know that you are getting value. Let me know that you're getting value. Okay. So number five. Number five is a man that is this. I had to end this one because this is where I get to pour out my heart a little bit. Okay. Spiritually sensitive. Okay. A man that doesn't believe. Now, this might be, I know a lot of people watching this, you might not take some of this, especially this last point, you might not take it very serious because of the way you've grown to believe that things work. And for some of you, it might not look like it's a very important something. But let me tell you the truth. Whether you like it or not, life is spiritual. Whether you like it or not, okay, it is not a subject up for debate. Even atheists, unknown to them, actually believe in spirituality. Okay, even people from other religions, somehow at the end of the day, we believe. You see atheists, pantheists, all of that saying things like, mother nature, or you see them saying things like the past, all-knowing, the all-knowing being, all those kind of things. Either ways, all of us, whether you agree or not, we all agree that there is something bigger than us, that there's a spirit realm, and there's things happening there that are beyond the physical eye. A matured man is a man who has come to the understanding of the fact that spiritual sensitivity is of utmost importance in his life, one, and in his responsibilities as a man. When you meet your love of your life, this is for the ladies now, this is advice for the ladies. When you meet the love of your life, or the person you want to be the love of your life, please, this I'm pleading with you, look beyond. Look beyond. He can talk, he has six packs, he has a good job, he's doing this one, he's doing. Look beyond that. A real man is two things: a king and a priest. A man you cannot learn spirituality from is not worthy of being called your husband. A man that cannot teach you spiritual things, a man that cannot look at certain situations happening in your life and tell you, this is beyond natural, let's pray, or let me pray about it, is not a man you should be really wasting your time with. Okay? Because life is beyond superficial. I see a lot of ladies fantasize about, their weddings, wedding nights, the dress they are going to wear, the gold, the chain, the all those kind of things. Those things are superficial. By the time you get deeper into maybe marriage with a man, you find out that there are things that are beyond physical, that's actually responsible for sustaining your relationship with them. Things that are beyond physical, things that are beyond just he loves me and I love him. Now, these are things I can tell you sincerely from experience, okay? Even much more being a father now, okay? When I mean father, like physical father, having a son, okay? These are things I can tell you by experience. There were many times, especially when my wife was pregnant, that we had a lot of challenges when it comes to maybe bad dreams, just things that you just know that no, this is beyond physical. There's an invisible hand trying to intervene with this baby that is actually incoming. A man that cannot stand at that point, stand his ground and make prayers. A man that cannot stand his ground and look at you, make declarations over you that shifts things for you spiritually is a red flag. Now, I'm not saying that, of course, we are all growing. Even me personally, I'm also growing. I'm not saying that you can look at a man you are maybe dating now, maybe looking forward to marry, and discard him, assume he doesn't know anything. Okay. But the truth is, at least to an extent, he should sustain some level of spiritual sensitivity. You understand? There was there are many a times a lot of things would maybe happen in the house, and one of the first things my wife always say is, come and pray, come and pray, come and pray, come and pray. Either pray for my son, or maybe pray for her. Maybe something's happening. Maybe she wakes up with maybe pain on her leg, or pain on her eyes, head, or wherever. First thing she says is, babe, pray for me, pray for me, pray for me. That's a sign of That's a level of responsibility that every man should sustain, whether you are in a relationship or whether you're already married. The person you call your spouse, your intending spouse, your fiance, your girlfriend, should be able to look at you as somebody that, if this person speaks a word, something can happen to me spiritually. You understand? So your spiritual sensitivity is of paramount in importance. Okay. There are three things under this one. I would have loved to write it, but we are out of time. There are three things under spiritual sensitivity I want you to take note of. Number one, the ability to discern the voice of God. Number two, the ability to discern the presence of God. And number three, the ability to communicate spirit and life. There are times this is me telling you, okay, of a shorty. If you're yet to get married here, when you finally get married, you find out that life or marriage life is beyond sexual contact, is beyond sleeping with a woman. Being a man goes way beyond all of that. I was telling one of my friends like 3 days ago, that truly, truly it takes power to marry. It takes power to lead about a sister, as Paul said. It takes a lot of power. So it is beyond just I know how to talk to my wife, I know how to deal with my wife. It's beyond all of that. You really need to be very, very spiritual to handle a home. As a man, you should know when to say no. We're not sleeping this night, we're praying. You understand? As a man, you need to know when it is time to switch from looking at the physical to looking into the spirit realm, and actually discerning what is happening there and be able to call the shots. You understand? So a man who disregards spirituality is a time. If you're a woman, if you're dating a man who doesn't see a reason to be going to church, he doesn't see any reason why he should go to church. There was this thing that happened where I was living formerly. When I was staying in Makodi, one of our neighbors then was like casually gisting us. So she was like, there's this guy, there are a lot of, he has had men, there's dated men, dated this one, but there's this particular guy that is coming for her now. But are the guys from the other religion? You guys know what I mean. He's from the other side, the other religion. And was like, nah, that he's actually that's the one he likes, that she really likes that one. That's the one she wants to settle for. And hearing it then, I was shocked. I was like, this lady in question, like every Sunday, she always, to the best of my knowledge, she goes to church. I know she's not, what you call it. I don't know. I don't judge her, though, but I know she doesn't take something serious. But this is something, this is like life and death. This is somebody you practically live your whole life with. Okay. So this person, you want to date somebody who you can't even mix your faith with the person. Okay. Under this also, okay, well, this is not relationship seminar, so let me not talk about that one. Okay. But you need to be spiritually sensitive as a man. You really have no choice. It is part of the responsibilities of being a real man. Part and parcel. You need to be highly, highly, highly spiritually sensitive. You need to know when it is beyond physical now. I can remember then when I used to have, then I was still cutting my wife then. Then there was a time we started having some form of, unusual like arguments, kind of. Any little thing, like little things that were almost nothing, we quarreled about it. Any little thing, we just, things that would happen on a normal day and we can just, move on with life. We just quarreled about it. I began to find out now, no, this is actually beyond physical now. It's beyond just physical. There was some form of tension being created in the spirit realm. And I have to take out some days to actually pray against it. You understand? And I found out that, it was nowhere to be found. You understand? So sustaining a stable relationship and being a man in a relationship, you really need to be spiritually sensitive. You really cannot do without it. Okay, that's the last layer of what it means to be a man, to attain manhood. So if you're dating a man right now who doesn't see any need, he's not somebody that can even pray, he can even pray with, or even a man that you can look and say, please pray for me, is a red flag. You wouldn't know how bad it is until you get into marriage. You wouldn't know how bad it is until you get into marriage. Okay. There was one time I went to work, I was at work, and my wife quickly called me that my son, he wasn't breathing well, something was choking him, like that, like that, like that, like that, and he wanted to rush out to the hospital. First thing I did was I told her, put the phone in his ear. Put the phone in his ear. I was driving, I was coming home to me to know what's happening. So that I put the phone in his ear and I made declarations. Told him, I'm coming back. Stay. Daddy is coming back. Don't go nowhere. Go nowhere. Daddy is coming. And I came back. The situation was sorted. You understand? It was sorted. No harm. Boy is bubbling, looking good. You understand? So there are some situations that is just beyond I love him, he loves me. Can he pray for you? Can he be a priest over your life? Can you look at him and regard his words, that his words carries power, carries quality in the realm of the spirit? You understand? So it is beyond superficial, really beyond superficial. Have you guys got value this night? If you got any value, let me know before I give you the final words. Before I give you final word, let me know. Let me know whether you got value. Mm. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know in the comment section if you guys got some value tonight. Yup, 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 yup. Yeah, I can see you guys typing value, value, value. Yeah. So good to know you guys are catching value. Okay. So for those of you that are joining us for the very first time, this is Carrie's initiative. This is something we usually have these meetings on Google Meet, but we decided to try out YouTube today, and I think it's turning out very fine. Okay, so we do this every month. Every month we recommend a book that every member of the community must read. Okay, and we encourage everyone to read, the book for the month. And secondly, we also we do the master classes, which is what you actually listening to now. And we do a group master class where we single a particular topic and talk about this month. We're talking about men, because this month is about men. Even the book we are reading, Understanding the Purpose and Power of Men, is a book focused on talking about the male figure. Okay, so we do this every month, 2 times a month. Book review, then the group master classes. So I believe the person that shared this link for you to join this meeting should also have the flyer. So there's instructions on how to join the initiative if you actually want to join the initiative and be learning with us every month, because I think we'll be doing this on YouTube more than Google Meet. Okay. So that said, let me now address the elephant in the room, because I know somebody's asking somewhere inside his mind. So are you saying, sir, that being a matured man means that you must not have money? Yes, that's what I mean. Yeah, that's what I mean. It is being the ability to have money, or that you have money, doesn't necessarily make you a matured person. Is an added advantage when we are talking about responsibility and fatherhood. You can say that a man is wealthy can make him exhibit his fatherly attributes more, or make him more responsible. But that does not mean that because he has money, he is a matured man. So there are a lot of men out there who have a lot of money, but truly, truly, they are still boys. Okay. Some just stumbled into wealth. You've seen some of them, some are even your favorite musician. I don't believe some of you here have those kind of people as a favorite musician. But I see some of them, they go for a show and you see them, you're removing your clothes, removing your shorts. I mean, really, just, and people, these are the kind of people that the society crave for. They want to be like those kind of people. I mean, a man that pulls his clothes, imagine assume that those kind of people are maybe your father. You understand? Like a biological father. Go on stage and you're wearing your boxers to do performance and all of that. I mean, even when I was not responsible, even when I was not like maybe even born again, I didn't take those kind of people, that serious. Okay. But however, um, I just needed to address that, because I can sense somebody is asking, he didn't talk about what if the person doesn't have money. It is possible, okay, that somebody is quite mature, very, very mature, but he might actually not have money. But as a man, by all righteous means possible, please have money. Please, please have money. Okay, having money saves you a lot of unnecessary prayer points. Okay, saves you a lot of stress that on a normal day you would not have had if you actually had money. You understand? So by all means, please have money. Okay. So I just needed to say that. And also, please, I also need to mention, okay, no need to talk about that. So just talk a little about no need, no need. So I hope you guys got value. So I love you guys. Somebody, Bree said money doesn't hurt though. Yeah, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt. Yeah, you should have money as a man, but those are not things that entail that you're a matured man. Okay. Somebody said, where can I get the book? You can get the book on any books. It's a very popular book by Miles Monroe. Understanding the Purpose and Power of Man. I think it was okay, it's not here, should be inside. So it's a book by Miles Monroe. Very, very nice book. I strongly, urge everyone here to get that book and actually read it. It will help you a lot. So glad you all got value. I love you guys. So catch you guys on the group. So for those on the carries you, please go back to the group and spam the group with everything you've learned this evening. Permission to spam the group with every amazing thing you've learned today. Let them know. People that did not come for this session, let them know they missed. Let them know they missed. Okay. So catch you guys on the group. I love every one of you that showed up tonight. There's a lot of things I wanted to teach, but because of time, I just had to rush them. Okay. So see you guys on the group. Let's continue the discussion on the group. So love you guys. Have a wonderful time and good night. Good night. Good night, guys. Good night, everyone.